Hello everyone and welcome back to another video movie review by EonTalk. As always, I'm your host Ian, and as you can tell by the title, today's review will be on the new Korean movie, Innocence. Starting in June, we were able to see the release of the many movies that were delayed due to the pandemic, and Innocence was one of those recently released Korean movies. Being released on June 10th, Innocence was directed by Park Sang-yeon, who was the assistant director of Korean films such as The President's Last Bang and Forever the Moment, as well as the Hollywood film The Bourne Legacy. The film starred the likes of Shin, Jong-Ok, Jun-Ho, Hong-kyung, Tae-ho, Go Chang-seok, Park Chul-min, and Chung In-kyum, and was a courtroom drama that had really great mystery elements. The detailed synopsis of Innocence is as follows. Jung-in is an ace lawyer at one of the most famous law firms in Korea. However, she finds herself in a puzzling situation when a murder incident occurs at her father's funeral. The drinks that were served at the funeral were poisoned with pesticide, and Jung-in's mother, Hwa-ja, who suffers from Alzheimer's disease, is framed as the suspect. In order to prove her mother's innocence, Jung-in decides to take on the case herself. While investigating the case, Jung-in finds several suspicious factors, including systematic cover-ups and false statements by the villagers and the mayor of the town, Chu In-hwe. With her mother unable to remember anything from the day of the incident, Jung-in must do whatever it takes to prove the innocence of her mother. Before we get into the actual review, I'd like to say that I'll refrain from giving away any major spoilers, but there may be unintentional minor spoilers as I give my review. Thus, if you would not like to be exposed to any spoilers, it may be better to watch the film first and then come back to this review. Okay then, that being said, let's first take a look at the good parts about Innocence. First, one of the best parts about Innocence was the acting by the cast members. The acting performances were able to really grab your attention from the start, and the main leads, Shin, Jong-Ok, and Jun-Ho were excellent in portraying their characters. When watching, you really believe that Shin is a well-educated lawyer, that Jong-Ok has Alzheimer's, and that Jun-Ho is a self-centered political man. Moreover, it's Hong-kyung that really grabbed my attention. This was my first time seeing him, as I believe the only prior work he had was the K-drama School 2017, but he definitely left a mark in my books of up-and-rising actors with this movie. Hong-kyung played a character that suffers from mental illness, and he did it in a very natural way that wasn't overly exaggerated nor overwhelming. Also, as briefly mentioned earlier, the movie had great mystery. Right from the start, it gives a very mysterious vibe and you start to wonder how the story will unfold, and it's this ability of making you keep wondering that really keeps you engaged and invested into the movie. Not only this, but it has moments of good suspense as well. The movie's many layers of mystery and suspense mixed with the great acting performances made the build-up really great. You hope that it'll be able to end strong and not in an obvious way. Ultimately, I was satisfied with how the movie concluded and appreciated that everything makes sense in the end. A lot of movies tend to open up a lot of different possibilities, but fails to close all those variables in a satisfying and logical way. However, I felt that Innocence was able to make everything connect and gave a good twist as well. And one smaller note that I like to make is that the opening scene of the movie was a one-take, or at least it was shot to resemble a one-taker. It made me wonder if the whole movie will be shot in a similar way, but that wasn't the case. Nonetheless, it was interesting to see the film shot like that. And now, let's move on to the bad parts of Innocence. First, the trailers gave away too much. If you've seen all 3 or 4 of the trailers, you basically know 70% of the story. This was a criticism I made in my previous review of the film Intruder as well, and I guess it's partially understandable as the marketing team had to promote the movie for a longer period of time due to the delays. However, I feel like the story was exposed way too much with the previews, and that I would have enjoyed the movie a lot more if I went into it not knowing as much. Next, I felt that the movie tried a little too hard to be emotional. It may just be me as I don't easily get emotional when watching movies, and so this is a personal preference, but I thought the film went a little overboard in trying to force the tears near the end. And to nitpick, the movie felt like it was on the longer side. The runtime comes in just under 2 hours at 110 minutes, but it felt longer than that. I'm not saying that it drags per se, but maybe because it gives a sense of ending a couple of times without actually ending, the movie felt a little bit longer than usual. Also, another nitpick is that as with practically every other Korean movies, there was bad English acting. There isn't much of it, but there are a few scenes with the main character speaking English in the courtroom in the beginning, and it was really unnatural, and you could tell that she just had the lines memorized and was just reciting them. And what makes matters worse is that the English was really unnecessary. It had no real influence on the movie other than the negativity that I just mentioned. Great acting, good story, and a satisfying build-up with a satisfying ending. Innocence is a film that I very much did enjoy, and if you're a fan of crime mystery dramas, I highly recommend watching this new Korean film. I'll give Innocence a ticket price value of $13. And that's it for today's review on Innocence. Thank you to everyone that watched till the end, and I hope this review has helped you in deciding whether to watch Innocence, or if you have watched it already, that it could have given you some deeper insight into the film. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below or on the EonTalk Telegram group, so let me know your thoughts on the movie. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and would like more video movie reviews. Also, join the EonTalk Patreon if you can. Once again, thank you to everyone that watched till the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one.